Take a breath, feel the air. We've all been broken, we've been there. The hearts can mend just like the sky. After storms, the sun will rise. We light the way, we lift the dark with every step. We leave a mark, you're not alone, no, not today. It's Mental Health Week, let's light the way. Let's light the way, let's light the way. Let's light the way, let's light the way. Voices trembling, walls they fall. Together we can face it all. A spark of hope, a hand to hold. Even shadows can't be cold. Every tear, every fear, we're stronger when we're near. One voice, one light, let's make it shine tonight. We light the way, we lift the dark with every step. We leave a mark, you're not alone, no, not today. It's Mental Health Week, let's light the way. Let's light the way, let's light the way. Let's light the way, let's light the way. Every tear, every fear, we're stronger when we're near. One voice, one light, let's make it shine tonight. We light the way, we lift the dark with every step. We leave a mark, you're not alone, no, not today. It's Mental Health Week, let's light the way. Let's light the way, let's light the way. Let's light the way, let's light the way. Every breath take a stand. We're together hand in hand. Hope and healing start today. When we care in every way. You're not alone, we're here to stay. It's Mental Health Week, let's light the way.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for joining us again on day 2 of our Mental Health Awareness Week series. Yesterday, we began a powerful conversation about understanding the mental health, about listening with empathy, offering support, and recognizing that behind every smile, there may be a story we don't know yet. Today, we continue that journey by exploring how connections and community can help us heal. Mental health isn't just an individual experience, it is something we nurture together. When we reach out, share, care, we remind each other that no one has to walk alone. Throughout this week, we are learning that every small act of kindness, every word of encouragement, every moment of understanding can be a light source someone needs to find their way forward. As we begin today's conversation, let's carry that message to our hearts and remember, together we light the way with hope, with courage, and with care. To introduce today's host, we have Lion Roopmitra Chakrabarti from Aburi's Gibbsboro Lions Club, the marketing director of that club. So let's welcome Lion Roop.
Thank you, Lion Mahesh. A very good evening, everyone, and welcome back to our Mental Health Awareness Week series. We are so glad that you could join us for another inspiring session as we continue our conversations on emotional well being and self awareness. It is my extreme pleasure to introduce our host for tonight, Mr. Jim Rose, MEd from Rutgers University. Mr. Jim Rose is a retired executive from Johnson & Johnson where he dedicated over 35 years to human resource management, employee development, and conflict resolution. Throughout his remarkable career, Jim has helped countless individuals and organizations navigate challenges with understanding, compassion, and balance. Beyond his professional achievements, Jim brings a deeply personal dimension to his work. He has been practicing meditation for over 40 years and now shares his insight through workshops and trainings all around the world, helping people connect meditation and spiritual development to our everyday life. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Jim Rose.
Thank you very much, Rup. Hello, everyone. Very happy to be with you and happy that you are here today. We're going to talk about how meditation can help us and help others, help the helpers to help others in all kinds of areas. And I have a couple of guests here with me today. We're going to kind of serve as a discussion group, if you will, about how meditation has helped us and those that we serve. So I'd like to introduce Priyanka Rangra, who has her master's degree from Rutgers University in special education and is currently teaching at a middle school here in central New Jersey. And she'll share a bit about how this helps her deal with the kids and everything that goes along with that. We also have Dr. Akshat Saggar, and Akshat is a psychiatrist who has a whole philosophy of dealing with patients through compassionate, science-based care. And he weaves meditation into what he does. So I'm going to come right to them in a moment and ask them a couple of questions. But before we go there, I just want to ask that we put up our one slide. We'll go off camera, and I want to put up the slide because I want to just talk about first, why do most people meditate at all? Can we put that slide up? So no surprise, the very first reason that most people start meditating is because what? We all have stress in our lives. We all deal with situations that fill us with anxiety and fill us with stress. And meditation, research has shown that meditation helps us a lot in dealing with stress and managing our stress, but even to a certain extent, helping us with more positive reactions when we get faced with stress and anxiety. But it does other things for us. It helps us to focus our attention, to do one thing at a time, to improve our listening ability, our productivity. How many of us out there feel their whole life would improve if we were better listeners? Everybody. We all know the answer to that. Well, meditation is actually a technique to fine-tune our paying attention. And the very process of meditating helps us, as we interact with other people, really listen to them, hear what their needs are, and then react to those needs. But it also, as I said earlier, helps us stay calm and be listening and forgiving of others, because people are going to make mistakes. If we're coming from a warm, loving, kind heart, it's easier to deal with other people and bring positive energy into the world. And that all circles back to connecting to the love within us. We need to connect to this current of peace and love and joy that's inside of us that enables us to do these other things. So with that, let's go ahead and get started in our discussion. We can bring back the panelists or the presenters. Whoops, there's an open forest. That's beautiful. Okay, Dr. Saggar, would you maybe kick us off and just share a little bit about how long have you been meditating? How do you use it in your practice? How does it help you serve others in your practice?
Sure. Thank you, Jim, for the introduction. So again, I'm Dr. Saggar, and I wanted to talk about meditation. So I'm lucky, and I was introduced to meditation as a young child from my parents, who also meditate. So I've been meditating pretty much all my life, obviously different levels as a child versus now. And meditation is not only a big part of my life, but a big part of my career. Um, I'm a DO, so we already talked about holistic care for patients, and especially mental health. We have to balance things like medications as well as therapy. And one of the biggest, therapies I feel out there is meditation. So I do recommend it to a lot of my patients. We do many different types of meditations. The goal being to reduce the anxiety and depression that people go through in their lives. Um, One quick thing I can talk about is, we have the fight or flight system in our bodies that's meant to help us get out of situations. It developed from a long time ago, and we had to escape things like bear attacks and other stressful situations. However, now that same process, the same sympathetic system that causes the fight or flight runs in us even when we feel stressed out about, as many stressors as we do in all of our lives. That creates anxiety and eventually depression. So meditation actually stimulates more of our parasympathetic system that reduces that. That does not cause for the fight or flight. That's more like rest and digest system. Goal being to bring down that heightened response and feel better. So I do use it a lot for a lot of my patients, and it's very prevalent.
Do you use it to actually as a tool to help the patients? Do you teach them how to do it and practice it?
Yes, yes. We actually have meditation groups in the morning, and even one-to-one, we do that. Goal being is to practice, in office as well as when you go home, as with your families as well. I think having your whole family be involved, to me, is a big thing in psychiatry itself, along with practicing coping skills such as meditation to help with, as I said, things like depression and anxiety, OCD, many other mental illnesses.
Wonderful. Priyanka, I'm going to get to you in just 1 minute, but I have one more question for Akshat here. And that is, how does it help you in your everyday life? I know you have a career, but you have a lot of other aspects of your life. Can you just share with us how it helps you in other aspects?
Sure. I think for me, my main thing is it slows down my life.
Mhm.
I'm a doctor, I'm also a father, and I'm a small child. So my life is consistently busy from the start. So for me, the big thing is it's for me to take time for myself instead of giving it to others, because all day I give to my patients as well as my child. So it's a way for me to slow down and spend time for myself, not only in growth. We talk about growth. Growth can be physical growth, working out. Growth can be, mental growth, watching a show. We do it for ourselves. But I think productive growth is meditating. It helps, like I said, it helps relax you, it helps you give time for yourself, and it helps to slow things down for yourself.
Mhm.
It makes you happier, as you saw on the slide. You just feel happier and uplifted. So not only does it help me, it also helps others because I'm able to bring that happiness, the joy, in front of my patients, for my child, so that that joy is, brought to them. So I think that's a big deal for me.
Beautiful. So balance, it helps you balance your life, but it sounds like it also helps you share the love that you're tapping into with everybody else. That's a great thing,
Yes, exactly.
both in your work life and in your everyday life. Priyanka, thank you for waiting so patiently. Would you
Hello.
share with us just the same question? So you answer the same question. So how long have you been meditating? And then how does it help you in your practice? I mean, you're dealing with some really challenging situations, I'm sure.
That is true, definitely. And also, similar to Akshat, I had been around influences in my childhood that were meditating, you know, in their lives, like my parents and other role models. But I really got into it when I was a young teenager because there was a lot of stressful situations happening in my life. So that really, like Akshat was saying, because of a lot of anxiety and stress that I was going through in the physical life that, everybody has, meditation was a way for me to slow down myself, slow down my thoughts, my feelings, and kind of connect with the true inner peace that everybody has inside of them and can tap into. So, in my daily life, now, it is true. I'm dealing with a lot of stressful situations still because kids are kids and teenagers, they're teenagers. So sometimes they have their own stressors every single day. Sometimes it's 7:50 in the morning and they come in hot and ready to take out their stress. So before I go to work, I definitely like to meditate because, again, I feel like it's me connecting with myself before rushing around for the whole entire school day and after school programs that I do. It's a way for me to connect with that peace, become more grounded for the day, and set my intentions in the right way, because meditation is very powerful. Um, And then when I get to school and these kids, sometimes they have their stress. Now, it's difficult to start meditating with students, but I have some techniques that I like to use that kind of relate with meditation in the way that I like to meditate. So when I'm meditating myself, I like to repeat something positive in my mind for me to focus my attention on something positive.
Mhm.
Now, in class, I came up with a system where we repeat a positive affirmation.
Beautiful.
So we all wrote down something positive, like an I am statement, and we pick one out from what we all created ourselves, and we all say it together 3 times, and it kind of sets their intention too, in a way for them to believe that they are what they are, that they are these powerful, peaceful, loving, happy people. They are successful. And, the stresses that they might be having in their head about, I don't know if I want to go to college, I don't know what's going on at home, at least we can calm down our nervous system and gain back the peace that we have inside ourselves. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. So you're using your positive energy that you're kind of filling yourself up with as you meditate in the morning, bringing it to school, and then using it to kind of draw on their positive energy to deal with their negative energy, because it's always going to be there, especially as teenagers. There seems to be always stress, as you said, in their lives. So you help calm that down,
Right.
but then you also get them to focus on positive things. Am I right?
That is true.
It's a beautiful example.
Yeah, it really is. And they actually look forward to it as it becomes more consistent. Like the first week of school, second week of school, it's like, I don't want to do it. But then in the third week, it's like a routine that they actually are like, hey, we have to do our positive affirmation. And I'm like, oh yeah, let's do that. Because sometimes I forget.
And good for you.
Yeah.
Well, everybody likes to be around people who are positive. And so if you can, get them to begin to see that and believe that and feel it of themselves, that's just going to strengthen their self-confidence. It's going to strengthen their own positive attitude. And it's a win-win.
Right.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
So I'm going to share just a little bit about myself and how I got into meditation. Unlike these two, I wasn't a meditator as a child. I didn't learn it early in my life. As a matter of fact, I didn't start meditating until I was in my late 30s. And I worked for Johnson & Johnson, as you heard from my bio. We were putting in place a health and wellness program back in the late 70s. And I was involved in helping put that in place. And we did a lot of things. We put in a gymnasium. We put in a lot of activities that they could participate in to release stress. We offered classes and programs. But one of the things we decided to do was to actually dedicate a room to meditation. And I was in charge of this program. And so I thought, I should probably try it myself. So in this particular room, our employees could go to the room up to twice a day for up to 15 minutes at a time. And we had beanbag chairs on the floor, and we had, soft carpeting and regular chairs. And people would just sit there and listen to quiet music. The meditation technique at that time was just calming ourselves by listening to quiet sounds and just bringing our energy inside and getting really, really calm and peaceful. And it worked. It worked for me, but it also worked for everybody around me. And I became an advocate of meditation at the time. I started doing a little bit of exploring of other techniques. There was this musical group called The Beatles that some of you have heard about, had just come back from India, and they were introducing transcendental meditation. So, of course, I had to try that. And then in 1983, I met my now wife, who had been practicing the technique of meditation we're about to practice. And when I learned that technique and I started practicing it, wow, it was just a game changer for me. What I found is that by going within myself, as opposed to concentrating on my breathing or doing other kinds of things, listening to, a guided meditation, or even listening to sounds, when I removed my attention from outside or the world around me and started putting it within, I discovered there was a whole different world in there. There was a vibration of peace and love and joy that I could tap into, that everybody could tap into. I just had never learned anything about it or knew how to do it. So I started practicing it. And that's actually the technique that I've been practicing every day for over 40 years now. And now I'm at that point, I've retired, and I'm out in the world trying to help others understand this is accessible to everyone, and you can do it right in your own homes. It's a very simple technique of disconnecting from the world around us and connecting to our own source of peace and love and joy and positive energy. And once we make that connection, we become what Priyanka was just talking about. We become a conduit of positive energy that radiates out to other people. But we all can do it. So why don't we, instead of our continuing to share, let's practice it. Let's actually go there. Can I have the first slide be brought up, please? One more, I'm sorry, the next one. Okay, so here's a way to think about meditation. What we're doing in meditation is we are actually withdrawing our attention from this crazy world that we live in, and for a short period of time, we're consciously putting our attention someplace peaceful, okay? We need to withdraw from out there and bring our attention to a peaceful place. What I learned when I started practicing what my wife taught me was the most peaceful place you can possibly go is inside yourself. So we have to have a way, however, to disengage from out here and engage with this vibration of positive energy within us. Next slide. It's a two-step process. How do we meditate? There's two steps. Step one is we need to bring stillness to the body. What does that mean? Well, we all know that we have five senses. So somehow we have to quiet these five senses or still them so that we can withdraw our attention. Well, that's actually very easy to do. We're certainly not going to taste, touch, or smell as we are meditating. And all we need to do is quiet our hearing and quiet our sight. So how do we do that? Well, we find a quiet place. We make sure that there's nothing that's going to disturb us outside. And then we close our eyes. And we're halfway there. But the second half isn't quite as easy, because the moment that we do that, what actually starts to happen is that, and we attempt to bring calmness to our mind, it's almost like the mind says, aha, gotcha. Let me give you all these thoughts. Can I have the next slide? Here they come about everything, anything. What happened yesterday? What might be happening? We might be having for dinner? What do I have to do tomorrow? I'm wondering about my parent or my sibling. I have all kinds of thoughts about everything. That's not so easy to deal with. The mind is designed to think, And the moment that we get quiet, it starts to think. So we have to have a different technique to deal with the mind. And that technique takes advantage of the concept that the mind wants to think. So we give it a thought to think. We give it a peaceful, calm, uplifting thought. We're replacing thoughts of the outside world with a chosen thought, something we've decided we want to think about. But we get to pick it, and then we want it to be upbeat and uplifting and positive energy, right? So next slide. Here are some examples. It can be as simple as a single word. Hope, or peace, joy, love, calm, whatever we choose. But it can also be turned into a phrase like, I feel peaceful, or I am love, or I feel happy. Maybe I feel calm. Some of us are spiritual and some of us are more religious. So we may want to choose something that connects us with our spirituality or a religious background. It might be the name of a saint or a mystic. It might be just a thought about the Creator, like God is love. But the really neat thing here is we all get to pick what it is that we're going to choose. So right now, we're about to do some meditation. I'd like you to pick whatever you're going to choose, because we're going to meditate for about 5 minutes. Pick something simple, something that's uplifting to you, and something you can remember very easily. So here we go. If I can have the next slide. Okay, so I mentioned earlier how important it is to pick a time and place when you're likely to make a good connection. Priyanka talked about how she does it in the morning before she goes off for school. Actually, the time that research has shown to be the best time to meditate is first thing in the morning, so that we start our day with very positive energy. But right now, you are where you are. You can't change the time. You're also in a place that you are. So we have step 1 already completed. Step 2 is to find a comfortable position. So right where you are, whether you're seated on a chair or a couch or on the floor, don't have to move around. Just put yourself into a comfortable position, because we're going to meditate for about 5 or 6 minutes. Okay? Now, once you're in that comfortable position, please close your eyes very gently. Just relax the eyelids, let them fall closed. There's no tension, there's no stress. Just allow your eyes to close. Now find yourself experiencing darkness in front of you. You're not actually seeing that darkness because your eyes are closed. But you are experiencing that darkness, and you're actually experiencing it through what is sometimes called the third eye, or the single eye, the spiritual eye, the seat of the soul. It's called many different things. But we're experiencing darkness, and our goal now is to bring our attention right into the center of that darkness. It feels like we're gazing very easily and sweetly into about 8 to 10 inches out into the center of the darkness. Just focus your attention there. So here come the thoughts. Now is the time to begin repeating very slowly and deliberately in your mind, not out loud, whatever you've chosen as your mantra. I'm going to just demonstrate. My eyes are closed. I'm gazing into the center of the darkness, and I'm repeating, I feel peace. I feel peace. Continue to do that throughout the entire meditation. Thoughts are going to come along, and as they come, just pull your attention back inside and continue to gaze in the center of the darkness. As you get fully focused in the center, what will happen is light will begin to appear. Just allow yourself to experience that light and feel embraced by that light. So we'll do this now for about 5 or 6 minutes, and I'll bring you back. So very slowly and very gently, begin to leave off your meditation and bring your attention back into our program. As you do that, just allow yourself to recognize how beautiful that was, how calming that was. You just made a connection to your own source of calm and peace and joy and positive energy. And you can use that connection, that feeling of calmness and peace and joy as you go out into the world, as you help to serve others, as our guest here tonight talked about what they do, how they use it, but also just in how good you feel and how you live your life. It can bring a lot of positive energy into the world, and we can all use more of that. So we're getting ready to check for your questions, but I have one question that's a real simple one, and I'm going to ask you to use the comments box or place to share your answer to this question. How did that make you feel? One word answer. How did that make you feel? And then as they start to come in, if we can get someone to read off the answers. So while we're collecting those, I'm going to ask you to be thinking about a question you would like to ask any one of us. We're here, ready?
So we got some calms, relaxed, and divine. That's what we got so far.
Beautiful. Don't know how many people we have on here, but what I can tell you is I ask this question whenever I do a workshop or class like this. And 90% of the answers come back calm, peaceful, relaxed, all very positive. And we're only meditating for 5 or 6 minutes. I want you to imagine if you did that and instead of 5 or 6 minutes, you actually stayed in it for 15 or 20 minutes. Just how good that would feel and how long it would last. You do that to start your day and you take it into the day and you just have a much better day. It makes it so worthwhile. Do we get any more to come in, Priyanka?
We got very calm.
Anybody say sleepy out of curiosity?
No.
Huh? Usually at this time, I get at least one who says sleepy. And if you think about it, it's the time of day for most of us, or many of us, it's nighttime. We may have just had dinner and we get this comment. It's like, woo. So once again, best time to meditate is early in the day when you're not quite so tired and wrung out. But the next best time to meditate, just to let you know, is as you're going to bed. The reason for that is there's research that shows that meditation actually calms our brain waves even more than deep REM sleep. Think about that. We all know that we need like 4 hours of deep REM sleep every night just to heal our body and heal our mind. Well, meditation is more valuable in that it calms our brain waves even more so than deep REM sleep. There's some research or researchers that suggest that it actually has 4 times the value of deep REM sleep. So we meditate for 15, 20 minutes and we're getting a huge benefit. Okay, did we get any questions come in as yet?
Yes. It says, would you set an alarm to end the meditation if in the morning?
Okay, I would answer that, but Priyanka, do you want to answer it? What's your thoughts?
I typically do not set an alarm because I have a mental alarm clock that I'm like, okay, I gotta go now. But I mean, if you need one, I would, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it depends on your situation. If you have to be somewhere, what you don't want to have happening is you're sitting there and thinking, is my time up? Is my time up? Is my time up? You just don't want, you want to be able to completely relax and let it go. So setting an alarm makes sense. But if you're like me or like many folks, there's not a whole lot of pressure to end it. So let's say you set your objective as 5 minutes of meditation, you end up with 10. That's a plus. That's not a negative. All right. So let it happen if you can. If you need it, go ahead and do it. My one suggestion, though, is have an alarm that brings you out softly. All right. Nothing blaring, because you're trying to use this meditation to calm you down, not to stir you up. Okay. Any others come in?
Nope, but we got another relaxed comment.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And I would say also add that at nighttime, before you go to sleep, if you meditate, you definitely don't need an alarm. So sometimes you can just ease your way into sleep with that as well.
Yeah.
So it's just what time of the day you choose to, and like Jim said, what your schedule looks like.
Mm-hmm. So if you're going to meditate at night, you can meditate right in bed. Some people like to sit up and then just kind of slide down. Some people lie in bed and meditate. Whatever works for you. In the morning, though, don't stay in bed. You will fall into sleepitation, not meditation, and you might not wake yourself back up. So get out of bed, have a glass of water, use the bathroom if you need to, and then find a spot that is your meditation spot and sit there and meditate and allow it to become the place you go to meditate regularly. Any other questions come in?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have one that I get asked all the time. You just talked about a particular form of meditation, right? Which is going within and connecting to this vibration of love. Is it okay to use other techniques like concentrating on your breathing or listening to an app, a guided meditation on an app? Or of course it is. All forms of meditation will help some, because they're all designed to remove our attention from the stress or the triggers of stress and the things that are going on around us. We want to remove our attention and put it someplace peaceful. All I'm saying to you is that I have learned through my own practice that the most peaceful place you can go to is within, because you're connecting to something that is more peaceful than our breathing or than anything we experience out here. So I encourage people to at least give this a try. Even if you've used other practices, some people who've been concentrating on their breathing, I say, okay, use that as you get started, but see if you can even lose awareness of your breath and get all the way inside where you begin to experience the calm and the peace that's there waiting for you. And as you get more calm and peaceful, the light that is actually a vibration of love. It's a beautiful, beautiful vibration of love. Any other questions?
None yet.
Okay, so we're about to run out of time here.
Mm-hmm.
I would ask, does Dr. Saggar or Priyanka, do either of you have one final tip you would like to offer before we close the session?
Sure. I would say practice, practice, practice. The more you do it, the better it is. And like I said before, when you have other people with you, like family members, when you do it together, it's very good for family dynamics as well as motivating you to do it. So the more practice you do, I think the better it'll be for you.
Excellent. Priyanka?
And just to add on to Akshat's practice, I would also say that think of this as a time for yourself. This is you time, so kind of honor this time. This is special. It's a special practice with your family, with yourself. So look forward to it. Yeah.
Give yourself the gift of meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Markesh, we're back to you.
Thank you so much. I have a question before
Okay, great.
close down. If somebody has to reach out to you to learn about this further, what is the best way to reach out to you?
Did I give you my email address? Because either that or somebody, you could put it into the chat box, but I would be happy to give my email address. I can say it, but can we print it some way?
Yes, we will do that.
All right. So my email address is like my name, Jim B. Rose, Jim Rose with a B in between, 1986.
Jim B. Rose, one word, no spaces.
1986 at gmail.com.
We have 2 comments.
Okay.
So one person says, I found this event very helpful for someone who needs to find calmness. So that's wonderful. Thank you. And second is a question.
Okay.
I listen to green noise when I go to sleep. Does
Mhm.
this defeat the purpose of meditation?
No. The green noise is a way of just distracting you from having thoughts. It's another method of keeping you from having thoughts that interrupt your sleep and interrupt your dreams, right? So it is a very positive thing to do. I would just separate the two. If you're going to meditate, I wouldn't have the green noise going while you're meditating using this technique, because what you're trying to do is get inside and lose awareness of everything outside. Okay. But then if you want to turn that on as you're sleeping, absolutely. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I also would like to add, sorry, to the previous question about how to, get more information. There's a website called sos.org. This meditation type is on there, as well as we have a center in Perth Amboy, New Jersey, that also teaches this type of meditation. It is on 15 Market Street in Perth Amboy. It's called the Science and Spirituality Center. More resources that you can use to contact us and also find out more about meditation as well.
Wonderful. That sos.org, and I know there are people coming in from all over the world. Okay. So you should know we have organizations, we have locations, meditation centers all over the world. And so if you go into sos.org, just go to locate a center. There's a button that you can go to that will tell you, and it'll give you a map. You determine where you want to look for the center. Maybe it's somewhere in Oregon or somewhere in Texas or somewhere in other parts of the world, London or other parts of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Just type in where you're trying to find a location, and they will have a website there. You'll be able to get to that. You'll find out when they hold their events and what they're doing, but they have a website that will enable you to get more information that's closer to you. So thanks again for having us here. It was really great.
Thank you.
Do we have time for another question from me?
Yeah, sure. By all means.
So yeah, I was wondering, like, I'm also familiar with the idea of meditation, but do we do meditation to calm your mind or get more clarity for your mind? I mean, or both?
It's the or both.
Mm-hmm.
And here's why. What you're doing through meditation is you're calming things down, and you're also practicing doing one thing at a time. Okay? Now, when you're calmer and you go out into the world and we have to think, we have to actually do work where we have to have clear thinking. And what it actually does is it helps us with that, because instead of trying to focus on 10 or 15 things at a time, we're able to focus on one thing. We focus and then we shift to another, and we focus and then we shift back to that one or shift to another. It's a whole different method. And there's also research that shows that this whole concept of doing one thing at a time, focus and shift, is 60% more productive than multitasking. It's just, most people think I need to multitask because I have so much to do. Having so much to do is never going to go away. It's only going to get worse over time, right? But if we learn to focus our attention and not get distracted by other things, what will happen is we'll become much more productive and we'll become better listeners, which is really important.
Thank you. That was very helpful. I guess that's why they say meditation is the home for the mind.
Absolutely.
All right. So, on behalf of the organizing team, I want to extend our heartfelt thanks to Mr. Jim Rose for so beautifully guiding tonight's conversation. Your insights on mindfulness, compassion, and human connection truly reminded us that mental wellness begins with awareness and empathy. A sincere thanks to you too, Dr. Akshat Saggar, whose professional expertise as a chief adult psychiatrist added great depth and clarity to our understanding. And also to Priyanka Rangra for sharing her perspective as an educator and helping us see how these lessons apply in our schools and communities. As we continue this meaningful journey through Mental Health Awareness Week, I invite everyone to join us again on Friday for our concluding session because this is not a destination, this is a journey for another inspiring discussion that you don't want to miss. A special note of appreciation to our host clubs and all the Lions across New Jersey who make this series possible through their dedication and teamwork. Finally, we encourage you to watch. Please share this YouTube video with your families and friends, spreading awareness. And this is the first step towards breaking the stigma and lighting the way to better mental health for all of us. And it's sometimes okay to be not to be okay. Because we remember, always remember, you're not alone, not today. It's Mental Health Week. Let's light the way. Thank you and have a wonderful evening, guys.
Every day around the globe, a growing number of people face mental health challenges, impacting their sense of well-being. Mental health conditions affect 1 in 4 people in any 1 year. But no one should have to face this alone.
I was having a lot of nightmares from PTSD. I wouldn't go out of the house. I was basically a recluse. Now that I've got this dog, I'm not afraid anymore.
Lions and Leos improve mental health and well-being every day through service. Connecting with elderly, supporting youth, combating loneliness, and so much more. Human connection has always been at the heart of what we do. Our Mental Health and Well-Being Initiative expands our service to raise awareness, educate communities, and advocate for positive change. Here are some ways to get involved. Reduce mental health stigma.
Are you being bullied? Try calling a parent, teacher, a neighbor, or a relative.
The focus is education and giving people the tools that they need to have better lives.
Support youth and the elderly.
We do meditation and also a group discussion. I call it the safe haven.
We're working to improve the mental health of our seniors.
Educate communities through partnerships and resources.
If we can get more awareness out there and more confidence by talking about the topic, that creates then a society where people are more able to look for support.
Raise awareness and educate about suicide prevention.
We decided then that we'd do something towards suicide prevention, maybe making people more aware of where they can go if they have suicidal thoughts.
Advocate for funding and legislative support.
We have to build relationships with people and explain to them who we are and what we're capable of doing in the future.
We can do more together. So reach out to your community. Organize and participate in service activities for mental health and well-being. Invite others to volunteer. Doing good feels good and is good for your well-being too. Learn more and access resources at lionsclubs.org/mental-health.